It almost sounds like they're getting closer to us. I'm actually a little worried. I'm a little scared right now. I thought I heard something moving over here.
Have you ever felt the sheer isolation of a late-night van camping encounter? Imagine watching shadowy figures creep around your truck on camera or hearing nearby gunshots echo through the dark. What is your immediate escape plan? Living Life by the Mile is a channel run by Michael and Rebecca, a married couple who live full-time on the road in a truck with their dog, Reese. Their videos follow the everyday parts of that lifestyle, from fixing the truck to camping in interesting places across the country. But sometimes their travels also show the uncomfortable side of life on the road when a normal stop suddenly turns risky. In a video uploaded on November 10th, 2025, the couple had reached the end of the day and found what seemed like a decent place to sleep for the night. They parked in a Walmart lot in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and went to bed. Since Rebecca needed to be up early, she set her alarm for 6 a.m. When the alarm went off, she got up, but then she heard something else coming from outside the truck. Someone was knocking. Public parking lots can feel safer than empty back roads because they are open-lit and usually have other vehicles nearby. But that also means strangers can come and go at any time, which makes overnight camping harder to predict. Michael woke up irritated, and it was easy to understand why. He had only gone to sleep around 3 a.m., and now someone was knocking on their vehicle at 6 a.m.
I mean, we knew it wasn't the cops.
Yeah.
Or security.
And then I started making me some coffee, and then so I hurried and put my house coat on, and by the time I got up there, whoever it was already getting back in their vehicle, but they were so close to the back of the truck. I just wanted to look out again and make sure that they had left. And what do you know? They're back, not knocking or anything, just standing there. So at that point, I tell Michael, you better get up. You got to have to do something with this, whatever that's going on out here.
If there had been a clear emergency, that might have made sense. But by the time he got up, the person who had knocked was already gone. Then while they were still trying to figure out what had happened, the same person showed up again. This time, the man was near their RV and appeared to be using it as a bathroom. Michael saw him and opened the window, hoping to speak to him and understand what was going on. But instead of getting a normal explanation, the situation became stranger.
Oh my God, be careful.
Hey, I'm looking for a Paul Yob. Have you seen him?
What?
A Paul Yob?
Why are you beating on my truck at 6 o'clock in the
I'm
morning?
looking for a Paul Yob. A short little fellow that drives a tow truck. I was 20 years back. I was just waking up on a wet trip. Where's he at? Do you know Brian Kramer? You don't know any of these fellows.
No.
Are you on crack or something?
Michael, you don't know he could
no,
have.
I'm for somebody who wet me the up.
Don't be
That's
on my
all.
truck at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, what are you
Wait,
doing,
what?
bro?
Somebody that just led me over here to talk to you to tell me you're Paul Yob for some reason.
Nobody
That's what I'm
did that,
trying to
dude.
figure out.
Nobody did that.
Yeah.
Nobody
He just
did
told
that.
me to come over here to tell you that you're Paul Yob for some
I don't know who Paul, whoever the is. You just beginning to beat on somebody else's shit, too.
Yeah, I beat on that van over there.
And you ain't a crackhead.
I ain't a crack.
You don't
hear much right now. This is going way back, partner. That's why I'm out here.
No, I'll tell you where this is going. One of two places.
Front of that van over there. Go ahead.
What does the
'Cause
van
this is
got
what
to-
it's about with Paul, by the way.
You better get the away from my
One
truck.
sec. Go ahead,
He's
partner.
not in his right mind.
Go
He
right
could have a
ahead.
behind his back.
The man kept asking about someone named Paul Yob. He claimed someone had told him that Paul was there, but Michael and Rebecca had no idea who he was talking about. Michael could not understand why the man seemed to believe the person he was searching for might be inside their truck. As the exchange continued, the situation became more tense and unpredictable. The man kept his hands behind his back, which made Rebecca nervous because it looked like he could have been hiding something. At the same time, he kept repeating the same strange question about Paul Yob, even though nothing about it made sense to them. Then the man walked away, but the confusion did not end there. He came back again and began knocking on other vans in the parking lot, asking the same kind of question. That made it clear that this was not just a simple mistake. Something about his story did not add up, and his behavior made the whole situation feel unsafe.
I mean, definitely he was on something, and he was messing with everybody, because when he knocked on ours the first time, I also seen him go across over to a gray van, and I seen him get out, and they done the same thing. He knocked on the side of their van, and then he literally ran back to his car and took off before they could get up and get out there. Same way he had done us. I saw him go up to 2 other cars and mess around their cars.
I mean, he wasn't a homeless dude. He obviously had a car. He looked like he had a job and all that. He just still a crackhead. I really didn't know what to do with it at that point because she was saying it looked like he was reaching behind his back and he had something.
When they first started arguing, he had his hands in the front of him, and then I kept seeing him like go like this, like in behind his back. He knows that I'm not gonna risk my life or his life in any way. So I just said whatever to get him away from the window and let this guy go on about his day.
After a while, a few cars moved through the lot. The couple thought they might have been police or security, possibly because someone had called about the man. By then, it was obvious he was not in a stable state of mind. Michael and Rebecca stayed in the parking lot a little longer, but they could not go back to sleep. The feeling that he might still be nearby made the place feel unsafe. Eventually, they left the area and continued their trip. For people who live or camp out of a vehicle, this is exactly the kind of situation they try to avoid. It does not always happen because someone chooses a dangerous place. Sometimes it happens randomly, even in a spot that seems normal at first. This case is a reminder that people can sometimes be more unpredictable than animals. Wildlife can be frightening, but a confused or unstable person near your vehicle creates a different kind of danger. Maybe the man was lost under the influence, or looking for someone from a memory that no longer made sense. But if you were inside that truck at 6 a.m., would you have stayed calm, opened the window, or left immediately? This video was uploaded on May 29th, 2026 by the channel Nikki Delventhal. At first, Nikki's trip feels like a beautiful snowy hike, but before long it turns into a freezing overnight situation inside the van. She begins hiking toward the craters before the storm becomes too heavy.
This is my kind of adventure. I don't recommend doing this alone, but I also don't recommend waiting until somebody will join you on things, because you might be waiting your whole life.
But as she continues, the trail starts feeling sketchy and harder to follow. After she reaches the crater, the snow begins coming down fast. That forces her to turn back before the conditions become even worse.
Wow! This is extreme! All right, you ready? Let's get out of here. Welcome to Inyo Crater in a snowstorm, y'all. You guys, this is beautiful, but we gotta be safe and we gotta be smart about it since it is starting to dump now. So we will meet you back at the van. Okay, ready? Here we go.
When she returns to the van, the storm suddenly gets stronger. Nikki realizes the forecast has changed, and what first seemed like a manageable storm now has the potential to bring up to 3 feet of snow.
As you can see, there's a lot more snow about to come in here. Very soon it's going to get into the low teens temperature-wise. They're now saying that it's going to be getting 2 times the amount they expected, so the minimum snow that's coming into this area is going to be possibly 1 foot up to 3 feet. In massive snowstorms like this, they tend to shut down this highway. Oh gosh, that's a lot of snow. This storm has just started and there's already at least 4 inches of snow. This is crazy. Wow, okay. Whew. Let's secure everything.
Worried that the van could get blocked in by plows or trapped by the storm, she decides to move it to a safer spot before it is too late.
So now we're a little bit lower in elevation, so it should be a lot better, but this guy's in the spot I was thinking about. Let's see what's back here. If there's anywhere easy to go. Oh boy. We've got maybe like an hour, boys, until it rolls back in, so let's enjoy it. What a beautiful, beautiful break in the storm. Oh my gosh.
Later that night, the situation becomes more serious. The wind picks up and the snow continues building higher around her. During one final potty break with the dogs, Nikki notices just how much snow has already fallen. The cold is no longer just uncomfortable. It is becoming a real problem. Then the van's heat suddenly stops working. That forces her to think quickly, because if the temperature keeps dropping, the water system could freeze.
So my heat is broken until I can thaw out. Should I drain my water tanks? My water tanks can freeze, which means my pipes can burst. Okay, I need to clear off the Starlink. I need to think clearly I need to put some anti-gel treatment in the fuel tank. I don't know if it's going to do anything at this point, but...
In the middle of the night, Nikki realizes the diesel fuel may be gelling from the cold, causing the heater to shut down.
Okay, my diesel... Come on. It's just blowing cold air. I can't believe this is happening right now. What am I doing?
With temperatures falling into the low teens Fahrenheit and the risk of being snowed in for days, Nikki makes a stressful decision. Instead of waiting it out, she drives 2 hours through the night toward warmer conditions.
I can't believe I'm about to drive 2 hours. I don't know if this is stupid, but I just feel like driving 2 hours is better than potentially getting stuck for weeks. Everything I'm reading is telling me the fuel will get jellier despite adding it. I don't know if it would fix it. And it's 3 in the morning, so I'm not gonna call a mechanic or anything like that.
By morning, that decision appears to have saved her. The snow begins melting, the water system still works, and she believes leaving at 3 a.m. may have prevented frozen pipes or a much worse situation.
No, I just have a feeling I would have deeply regretted staying there at 3 in the morning. Well, it's melted enough. Turn my fan on, so that way I can try to get a little bit of the moisture out.
After resetting the heater and clearing the fault codes, the system finally turns back on, bringing the storm adventure to a huge relief. The strange thing about this situation is that the danger did not come from one dramatic moment. It came from small problems stacking up at the same time: snow cold, a failing heater, and the fear of getting trapped. In cold conditions, van systems can fail faster than people expect. Diesel can thicken in low temperatures, and if the water system freezes, pipes and tanks can be damaged even after the storm passes. If Nikki had stayed in that storm all night, do you think the van would have made it through safely? Would you stay inside your vehicle if strangers in hoods kept moving around nearby? This truck camper did, but the night only grew stranger. On January 22nd, 2024, Salvage to Scenic uploaded a video about a deeply unsettling night near his garage. Salvage to Scenic is a channel run by a man who loves the outdoors, truck camping, and traveling to explore different places. His videos are well liked in that niche, partly because he presents his adventures in a calm and enjoyable way. But in this particular video, the trip took a strange turn when he encountered something unusual in the middle of the night while parked in a lot near his garage. At one point, the people nearby suddenly disappeared. It looked as if they had moved around the back corner of the building, but their exact direction was unclear. About 10 minutes later, they returned. Instead of leaving, the creator stayed where he was.
Alright, it's like 12:30 in the morning. My car just pulled up into the parking lot. It honked its horn and then did a lap around me. And I saw a guy walk right in front of my car, like brushing the front corner of it. I heard some talking and stuff, and looking out the window right now at 2 people in all black in hoods. They're hiding under a security camera, and they've got a bag on the ground, like a big duffel or backpack or something. I don't know if they're like doing a drug deal or if they've got tools in there and fixing to break into my garage. Suddenly they have vanished. It looked like they went around that back corner of the building, but I don't really know. 10 minutes later, and they're back. Just walking over here right now. There's one going over there. And the other one is still over here. I don't like this at all. Especially because they were dropped off here and the car left. I think I've spent too many nights here, and they want to know what's in the back of this thing.
He kept his guard up, watched through the windows, and checked his camera system to monitor what was happening around him. Eventually, he fell asleep. When morning came, the only obvious change was that a trash can had somehow been moved into the middle of the pavement.
This trash can is now sitting in kind of the middle of the pavement here for some reason, so I fell asleep sitting here on guard, kind of listening. There was revving of engines, yelling and screaming, and I saw those 2 people doing sketchy stuff for like half an hour, and there's more screaming after that. So I decided to put my windshield cover up, put my keys in the ignition to get power to our digital rear view mirror, have a view front and behind of the truck, and fell asleep watching that, keeping guard. And
He later mentioned that the people seemed to have been dropped off there. One possibility is that they were looking inside vehicles to see if anyone could help them get a ride to a nearby town. Another possibility is that they were considering a break-in, though there was no way to know for sure whether they realized someone was inside. What made the situation suspicious was how long the strangers stayed near the garage, moving around with their hoods up. The creator chose to remain there instead of driving away, likely because it was his own garage and he wanted to keep watch. Still, staying near a possible threat is always risky. If they had planned to break in, the van could have become their next target. Maybe they had a harmless reason for being there, but after disappearing, returning and moving things around the whole night felt hard to dismiss. A quiet van camping trip can change fast when the road has a dark past. On a remote road, the tunnels and night sounds slowly turned an ordinary stop into something much harder to ignore. Uploaded on June 11th, 2023, Trent the Traveler's video takes viewers along for a solo van camping night on Phantom Canyon Road. He arrives after dark on a narrow dirt road with steep cliff edges nearby. Almost immediately, he realizes he probably should have stopped earlier while there was still daylight.
It is officially nighttime, and I hate driving at night, specifically on windy, remote dirt roads in the middle of the night. I could easily just drive off the side of this road and fall and tumble for hundreds of feet down the mountain, and that is the last thing I want from this adventure. About 30 or 45 minutes ago, I passed a few spots along the road, and I told myself, if I could just keep driving, there's probably a better spot down the road.
Driving that kind of road at night makes the situation feel more dangerous than it needs to be. After finding a small turnout near a creek, he decides the spot is good enough for the night and prepares to camp in the middle of the canyon. Once the fire is going, he begins talking about the haunted history of the area, where an old railroad once carried passengers and gold through the canyon.
Let's tell some ghost stories. In the 1800s, this area, or this road that we drove in on, used to be a railroad system that connected Florence and Cripple Creek, Colorado, during a time when mining was what kept these towns alive. Passengers aboard the train were traveling through this canyon, and they saw a man walking along the train tracks in prison attire. Supposedly looked like a man that was previously executed at the Colorado State Penitentiary down in Canyon City a few days before.
Stories of prisoners, miners' violence, train derailments, collapsed mines, and ghostly figures make the location feel even darker. Just after he finishes talking about the legends, he thinks he hears something moving nearby and becomes visibly tense.
I thought I heard something moving over here. Freak. I'm on edge. Of course I am. I'm in a haunted forest, for crying out loud. Okay, before I freak myself out too much.
Later, he walks alone down the road at night, aware that the real danger may not be ghosts at all, but animals such as bears, bobcats, or mountain lions.
And the fear factor, there are some other things and other threats along this road and in this forest, and smart about. I am in bear, bobcat, mountain lion country. I need to be very careful traversing this road at night alone, just in case I do come across an animal that is a threat and I can scare it away. And I'm also not going to travel too far away from my campsite.
He also brings up a previous frightening experience from another camping trip when he heard a disturbing scream-like sound coming from the forest in the middle of the night.
A couple weeks ago, I was camping in a tent deep in the forest, and in the middle of the night, we were woken up to a very terrifying and eerie noise coming from the forest. Was that it sounded like a woman screaming in pain, in agony. It was this blood-curdling scream coming from the forest. I cannot express how terrifying that was to wake up to in the middle of the night while being in the middle of the woods.
The most unsettling moment comes when he unexpectedly finds huge tunnels along the road.
Wait. Oh, that's right. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I forgot that this road has tunnels. Wow. This is both incredibly creepy and beautiful at the same time. Like when I was doing my research on this road, I knew that the tunnels were here, but on my way in, I didn't see any. So I just assumed they were no longer in use or something. This is wild. Like they're massive, dude.
Inside, every sound feels louder, and his fear rises after he hears movement somewhere in the darkness.
Oh, big. Man, I am getting the heebie-jeebies from this. And maybe that's because my mind is on the topic of skinwalkers. But that's my own doing. I don't know. I feel like if there were any place that I would... The freak was that? I swear. Oh, it's bats. Of course there's bats in here. It's a freaking cave. Duh. Just really goes to show that fear is all in your mind.
Eventually, he realizes the noises are probably bats, but the tunnel still feels eerie. The feeling gets worse when he thinks he hears faint, distant singing echoing through the walls.
You know, I don't know if it's my mind playing tricks on me or not, but I definitely just heard singing. Okay, I know for a fact that the camera can't pick it up. It is so faint that I'm like struggling to hear it. The sounds bouncing off the tunnel walls or what, but it literally sounds like people singing. Oh, it's just some other people camping. I mean, makes sense. After all, I am on public land, so there's bound to be other campers along this road.
Back at the van, the night becomes tense again when he hears a loud thud outside as if something struck the vehicle.
Okay. I hope the camera picked it up, but I just heard a thud outside. I just turned on my light outside my sliding door. I don't see anything out the windows. It sounded like something hit my van. I'm like shaking right now. Hello?
He turns on the outside light and checks the area before finally deciding it was likely just a shovel falling near the tire.
I literally have no idea what that noise could have been. It sounded like something bumping into my van. Now, I've got my tripod out here that I forgot about, but that's still standing. Maybe it slid.
Even though that moment is explained, it shows how tense the entire night has made him. By morning, the same road feels calm and peaceful in daylight. Tunnels can make sound bounce against stone walls, which can change its direction and make small noises feel much bigger. That is why footsteps, animals, or even dripping water can seem strange when heard in the dark. But the haunted canyon still leaves enough unease behind to wonder if something strange could really be there. Would those tunnel sounds still feel harmless if they were heard deeper in the canyon at midnight? He thought it was just another quiet night in his RV camper. But when he and his partner woke up, they found someone inside who was not supposed to be there. Mark is a man who loves fishing, so he often takes his RV camper out to fishing spots, stays overnight, and cooks whatever he catches. He is not really an influencer or a YouTuber, but he does sometimes share small clips from his life on TikTok. However, this particular video is not about fishing. It is about something that happened inside his camper while he and his partner were sleeping. Somehow, a man had gotten inside, and when they woke up, they saw him there. In a way, the encounter ended up being more bizarre than dangerous.
Hey, think you got the wrong camper. Hey there. Think you're in the wrong camper. Hey, did you stagger into the wrong camper last night? I don't know who you are. Somebody's probably missing you, though. We gotta get up and get ready. You're gonna have to go home. I don't know where home is. Hey, dude. Hey. I don't know who you are. You're in my camper.
Whoa. What am I doing in your camper, bro?
Well, I don't know. You must have slept a good one off.
I am sorry, man.
Mark and his partner were badly startled when they realized a stranger was inside their camper. But after a moment, it became clear that the man was extremely drunk and did not seem to understand where he was. He had apparently entered the wrong camper without realizing it. Even though the man did not appear to be a serious threat, the situation still shows why locking your doors matters. This person came inside in the middle of the night, seemed heavily intoxicated, and from the way the incident played out, he was not exactly quiet. Still, Mark did not wake up when he entered. That is the part that makes the situation unsettling. If someone can enter your camper while you are asleep and still not wake you up, that is already a warning. This time the man was only drunk and confused, but an unlocked door could have led to something much worse. A lock may not stop everyone, but it creates noise, buys time, and gives you a better chance to react. Have you ever been camping and suddenly heard something that made the whole place feel unsafe? A group of friends was trying to enjoy a calm night outdoors when a series of sounds nearby changed everything. This video was uploaded on April 18, 2022 by the channel This Is Life, run by a man named Matt. His channel usually features adventures, fishing, humor, and car camping along the west coast of British Columbia and beyond. One day, Matt decided to go on a stealth camping and fishing trip with one of his friends. They arrived at a spot, started fishing, set up camp, built a fire, and enjoyed what seemed like a peaceful night. But as they stayed there, the mood began to change.
We have arrived at our spot. We're gonna set up camp. We're gonna grab some firewood. I kind of feel guilty for the amount of money we spent on this firewood, but she's gonna be nice and warm. But this tiny little bit was 10 bucks, man. I don't feel good about it, but that's okay.
Strange sounds started coming from somewhere in the distance. What made it worse was that the sounds did not stay far away. They seemed to be getting closer and closer to their camp.
Shooting guns is a little sketchy. Blast of 4 or 5 every time. It's gone on like 7 or 8 times. We're relatively close. Oh God. And your doors don't lock?
Well, I like to close my windows.
Okay. I think we're gonna be good. I got an axe with me. Oh. Did you guys hear that? These gunshots are getting really sketchy. It almost sounds like they're getting closer to us. I'm actually a little worried. I'm a little scared right now. It's really loud. Now I hear really fast driving. Okay, I'm gonna get in my car. That is way too sketchy. Sounds like there's a car that just flew across the bridge, gun in it, with an exhaust of some sort. Whoa, my heart's beating. That's freaky. Whoa, I haven't even been able to set up my bed yet. Gunshots keep going off. I feel too sketched out to sleep. There's like cars.
The situation quickly became frightening, but Matt and his friend managed to stay safe. From what could be heard, the shots seemed to be coming from somewhere near or beyond a bridge close to them. Then after the shots, a car could be heard accelerating away. That detail made it seem possible that they had just witnessed something like a drive-by shooting. There is no clear information about whether anyone was hurt or what was really happening nearby. But if that was the case, it would have been terrifying to be camping that close to it. At that distance, the chance of being hit may not be high, but it is never zero. That is what makes a moment like this so unsettling. Matt and his friend were not involved in whatever was happening, but they were still close enough to hear it and worry about where the shots might go. Eventually, they got into their cars and continued camping. Their fear slowly came down once they realized they were not the target and did not appear to be in immediate danger. Maybe Matt and his friend only heard something nearby, or maybe they were closer to real danger than they knew. If that happened while you were camping, would you stay or leave right away? This next case shows how a simple van camping trip can turn into something the driver never saw coming. What started as a normal night became a situation he would never forget. This video was uploaded on April 6, 2026, by the channel West Ventures. In the video, he drives into Willow River State Park during a rare March blizzard, planning to sleep in his truck, while heavy snow-freezing rain and strong winds move through the area. After setting up camp, the snow begins falling harder as darkness settles in. Inside the truck, he covers the windows with Reflectix, warms the cabin, and listens as the wind slowly builds outside.
All right, everyone. Well, just got all the Reflectix up. Messing around with the light strips back there. They're on a timer. Yeah, the snow's coming down, waiting for it to start getting heavier. We got a few gaps here and there, but that's minor. I'll plug that up with a shirt later in my pants and whatever I could find.
Reflectix can help hold warmth inside a vehicle by reducing heat loss through the windows. But in a strong winter storm, even small gaps, cold glass, and wind outside can make the inside cool down faster than expected. Later that night, the storm grows more intense.
This is gonna be relaxing. You can hear the snow hitting the roof. Wind's picking up a little bit. Give you guys a little look-ski. Oh yeah, it's getting windy. Turn the truck on here for a minute, let it warm back up. It's cooling off quite fast. That way my lights aren't blaring out there. Don't need everybody knowing where I'm at. 37 degrees, and it's 10:04. All right, guys. Well, like I stated a little bit ago, I'm awfully tired, so I might honestly fall asleep. Probably just gonna turn these lights off, but either way, if I do fall asleep, I will see you guys bright and early in the morning. Good night, y'all.
While resting in the back of the truck, he hears snow hitting the roof and notices the cabin cooling down quickly as the wind gets stronger outside. Around midnight, he opens the door to check the storm, and snow blows straight into the truck. The snowfall is heavier now, the wind is stronger, and the blizzard has clearly started taking over the park. By morning, the campsite is buried under fresh snow.
We got quite a bit of snow last night.
He steps outside into the cold, shocked by how much snow has piled up overnight, covering the truck and the entire area around him.
One last little look. I grabbed my butter that was stuck down in here from last night. Hopefully. A lot of snow.
The scariest moment comes when he tries to drive out. The roads are slick, visibility is poor, and the truck begins sliding as he works his way through deep snow and a plowed-up ridge blocking the exit.
Oh, that's crazy. Somebody's actually been in here today. And I can't. Whoa. We were just sliding. I can't see nothing. Ooh, too risky. Oh no. Everything's just soaked, full of ice. Whew, it's cold out. Blowing. It's windy.
After finally making it out, he explains how intense the storm became with near whiteout conditions and several inches of snow falling per hour nearby. The strange part is that the night itself was tense, but the real risk came the next morning when leaving the campsite became the hardest part. If his truck had gotten stuck overnight in that blizzard, what do you think he could have done? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.